We are back. Hey, y'all. Welcome back to my channel, Watch Your Mouth Reviews. This is your boy, James. I am here to give my honest review while trying to watch my mouth.
Mhm.
And thank you, Salt Lake City, because it is not going to happen this video. But that's all right. We'll, get through it like we always do. Joining me, as always, is my special guest, my BFF in the whole wide world, Mrs. Special. I'll say what's up to her.
Hello.
And y'all make sure y'all like, comment, and subscribe to both channels. Her information is in my description box. Please make sure you go over to her channel, subscribe, because the recaps that we don't do on my channel, we are definitely doing on her channel. Tonight we have Basketball Wives, both Orlando and LA. One was extremely boring, and the other one, I can't even imagine how I'm going to get through that video without watching my mouth. So we'll see how that goes.
We love hip hop as well.
Oh, and Love and Hip. Oh, shoot. Love and Hip Hop. Girl, you're going to have to walk me through that because I forgot about that already.
It's okay. I figured you would. It's new, so.
Yes. All right. So we're going to go ahead and get into it. So you guys know how I do on reunions. I have to do the reunion looks of everybody. Now, if you watched a recap a few weeks ago, me and Mrs. Best judged the ladies based upon the pictures that were leaked to the blogs and everything. Now, at this point, what we're going to do is we're going to go ahead, now that we have seen the video, seen the ladies live on camera with their outfits, we're going to go ahead and judge them now. So I'm going to pull it up. And we're going to see if our minds have changed. Now, if anybody recalls, I said my best dress was Mary and my worst dress was Meredith. Mrs. Best, I believe you said your best dress was Monica and your worst dress was Whitney, if I'm not mistaken, right?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So, oh, and look at Naya Green joining us. That's my girl, y'all.
Hi,
I love her. Yes. The ladies look decent, but I didn't look too close. I did. I was studying because I needed to make sure I didn't have egg on my face because I said my best was Mary and my worst was Meredith. Now my mind has completely changed, y'all.
Oh,
Mrs.
really?
Mrs. Best has not changed her mind on who is her best and worst from last she told me. Did your mind change? It has not
No.
changed. Okay. My best dress, I'm still gonna give it to Mary. I thought she looked the best to me. I loved her hair, and it's typically not something I would give Mary. Mary's fashions usually are all over the place. So the fact that she actually pulled it together and wore something that really sat on her body well, I'm proud of Mary for this. Now, my worst dress, I'm sorry, Meredith, but I looked at you on camera. It did not look that bad. So I don't know what I was thinking, but in that picture, that did nothing for you. So I'm going to take back that you were my worst dress. Okay. My worst dress. At first, I was going to give it to Angie because sitting down, I didn't know what the hell her dress was doing. It
I
looked
went back and forth
confusing.
with her too, because the dresses. It reminds
Sitting
me of
down,
like control. It doesn't know if it want to be a shirt or a dress or a leotard, and that stresses me out.
And I was like, it seemed like every time the camera panned on her, it looked like she had on something different every time. And I said, "Is Angie change her clothes again?" Like that's what she was giving me. Is that she changed her clothes. But it wasn't until the camera panned on Whitney.
She
And
looked
I
terrible.
saw what that hair looks like at the top of her head. It was greasy. It wasn't brushed at all. They look like they just wrapped her hair up and threw that ponytail in and said, "Get on that stage, you late." So my worst dress is going to go to Whitney because I was
Yes.
confused. I was disappointed. I said, "Whitney, don't you ever do this again."
I told you that outfit. I knew you would change your mind when you saw her. I knew you would. Listen, that ponytail is a fucking disaster. I have said it. And her dress, you gotta have some type of shape to fill out a dress. And I feel like the dress needed a belt because the bottom
No,
of it just looks like snakes leading to it was just
right. I felt like I wanted her
she
to
looks
go.
cheap.
She looked cheap. Yes, Naya, you better
That's
say
what it
that,
is,
girl.
though.
She did. She looked like you. No, she looked like she just got done having sex and just decided to come out
Stop
there.
it.
She
Watch your
did.
mouth, Mr.
She did.
Reed.
She did. She like she just got through having sex and then came on stage and hair all over the place. You know that's that sex hair. I promise you. That's
Yeah.
exactly what even in this picture, when we look at her now, you could still see that looks terrible. I
It looked
know
like
she
something Bobby would wear. Isn't that her daughter's name, Bobby or whatever?
I ain't gonna bring her daughter down, Miss Beth. We not gonna do
No,
that on
she
this
looks
show.
like her in terms of age. Like that's I think what made
Oh,
the
the little girl. Oh, okay. I see what you're going. I was
yeah.
like,
No, no, no.
wait,
I'm
look
not
at her.
talking about her daughter. I'm just saying in the picture with Whitney, like how she did her hair, how she did not fill out that dress in any way. Her super clear shoes that blend in with her skin. Like I just felt like she should have had a shoe that was a better color. It was just a bad outfit, but she looks like kid-like, almost like when you're little, you see the little girls going to church or to the family events, and they put you in a dress and put your ponytail up or
Hmm.
all of that. That's Whitney looks like that. If her daughter were to dress up in this dress, I believe her child would look like this.
Yeah, and that's why I told, and I said the last time, and I agree with this comment. Yeah, she tried to look too young and girly. I felt like she should have went with one of those looks. Either she was going to wear the stringy thing at the top and put it all the way to the bottom and wore like a nude like applique under, or she was gonna go with the bottom half and wear maybe like a tube top, like or maybe like a
This
bustier or
cast
something.
as a whole, though, with the exception of Monica and Mary, this cast as a whole fails, in my opinion, reunion
Hmm.
after reunion. They're always either too basic or they look like they're ready to go to the club, but not like with
Who's
friends.
club? Oh, I was
No,
gonna
no,
say
no.
who's
Hear me out.
club.
Amateur night at the strip club. That's what Angie's giving. But I wish that they would like actually take the reunion and like dress up. But I feel like recent reunions in general across all the Housewife franchises, they
And then
just
and then
haven't hit.
also I want sorry to cut you off. I'm sorry about that. I also want to put out nobody's makeup was on point either. It was bothering me.
No.
And I was like, and that was bothering me too. I said, damn, did y'all even fucking try? It looked like everybody did their own shit. I think out of everybody's whose makeup annoyed me the most was Heather's. Heather's
Mm,
makeup annoyed me the most because one, it was too light on her skin.
mm.
And 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 I'm gonna say this, and I'm gonna just try to be nice, but Heather, stop fucking with your face, please. Just leave it alone. Leave it alone. I don't want you to do no more of your beauty shit, no more of the injections. I don't
She's
want you to do
trying.
nothing
I think
else.
it's a combination of the beauty stuff, and I also think it's a combination of that with what Mary said in terms of how Heather
I wasn't
looks.
trying to go there.
I'm not gonna say it. I'm not.
I'm not gonna go there. I'm not
Listen,
going there with
behind the
you.
camera, I'm gonna act the extra fool. I apologize, y'all. I haven't eaten today. I just got off work, so that's why I keep going off camera because I'm not trying to be chewing in your face. But listen, I ain't gonna say it, but Mary said it for us. Thank you. They used to be glamorous. They're
Yeah, it's
losing
like
grandeur.
what is I mean, we had something to look forward to. Everybody scared me. But Heather, yeah, Heather needs to stop. Whatever she's doing, I want her to stop because even in this picture, y'all remember the movie The Mask with Cher?
I love that
I
movie.
love that movie, and that's what Heather is giving me right there. Every time I look at her, that's who she looks like to me with that hair. She looks
I
exactly
think
like that.
Heather just, I'm gonna say it. I don't think that Heather has, let me go on camera before they come for me. I don't think Heather, some people makeup won't help. That's
Okay,
that's
y'all,
all.
we finna
That's
go.
that's that's the
Yeah, no, I
statement.
agree. You can say it. I give you full permission. You can say it.
It's
But
like
yes, y'all. I can't. But anyways, let's get to this reunion. That was nice. But yes, my worst dress goes to Whitney because I don't know what she was trying to pull, but that was not it. Sorry, Meredith. I did not mean to give you worst dress. You looked okay. You still like Mother of the Groom, but you looked okay. And Angie, do not do this again. If I cannot figure out what the fuck you have on, then that means you don't need to wear it. Okay. There we go. So let's get into this reunion because when I tell y'all they gave at this reunion, they gave. So Andy opened up the reunion talking about Jen Shaw. This is the first season that the ladies got to film without Jen Shaw now that she has been sentenced for, her case now. And he asked a lot of the women, how do you feel? And a lot of them kind of were collectively saying they were nervous because they felt like the fans were very invested in Jen Shaw's, toxicity. And they felt like if they didn't have that on the show, then overall the show would not have been a success.
Oh my God.
And
I'm sorry. Just keep going. I'm sorry. They irritated
no,
me.
they it irritated me too that they said that because I knew
I
where they were
felt
going with
like
that.
this group, there's certain Housewives franchises where there's an obvious like stigma and obvious like Karen behavior, white privilege, whatever the hell you want to call it. And I feel like this cast is most guilty of it actually compared to some of the others. Um, and if you've been to Salt Lake City, then you know, and I have been several times. I just don't, it's like they lack accountability in every way. You can't say that you were concerned that the fans were invested in Jen's toxicity. That's insulting to say. Then you're saying, oh, she's just a wholly toxic person. Listen, people go to prison all the time. She could come out changed, committed to looking at the old and the worst version of her. That's one. Then two, let's call it what it is. Jen Shaw and Mary Cosby are the reason people wanted to watch this fucking franchise because we heard about who Mary was married to and what she did for a living. And then Jen Shaw was crazy as hell, and she was also one of the few Islander women to come on TV. So it's like people wanted to watch the show because of them. Nobody gave a fuck about who Whitney or Meredith or any of them were. I'm not taking away from their accolades and the things they've done, but it's kind of like the rich business people who here in the Bay Area, they're just like amongst the rest of us, but they're not
Right.
like known, if that makes sense. So I feel like this cast avoids the fact that I know they see the same post that we all see on Instagram. They avoid the fact that this has been one of the lowest rated housewife franchises across the board until recently and until Jen Shaw's scandal. Jen Shaw's behavior and how she handled you boring bitches is what made it interesting. Without her, they're not really that interesting. And that's there's proof in them having to bring Mary back, and there's proof in how Monica has carried, exposed herself as a fraud, and is still carrying. Like these women to me, I say that from to end my long monologue, like they're just not that interesting. And I told James that I stopped watching the franchise because
Mm-hmm.
I was bored.
Yes.
Heather can't
So
admit that. Like,
right. Oh, I see why. I was like, why am I? Oh, I forgot to put review once again on this recap. God damn it. Okay. Sorry, y'all.
they don't
The review's
know.
coming in. Yeah. Yes. But anywho, moving on from there. In terms, Andy directs a question now to Monica and says, Monica, how did you first get involved with Jen Shaw and working for her as her assistant? And Monica says she did not initially start working for Jen. They were friends first, and she was helping Jen out. She was, making her groceries, making sure she got to her meetings on time and everything. So it wasn't that she worked for her, it was more so that she was trying to help her as a friend.
Mm.
Heather called bullshit and decided to play a recording. And basically, this recording just said that how Kim Kardashian got started is that she was an assistant and then she blew up and now she's, this billionaire. And, you know, she's going to walk and take the same steps. So Heather took that as Monica had ulterior motives for working for Jen to try to get on TV. Monica rebuttal said that she didn't think that she would ever end up on the show. So I have to ask Mrs. Best in the viewing audience, my girl
Mm-mm.
Naya Green, did you think that Heather's receipt landed with exposing Monica having ulterior motives when she was Jen Shaw's assistant?
No, nothing Heather does lands. In my opinion, that's just my opinion. Even with the way that Heather called her out didn't fully land. Um, Here's the thing. If I have a friend who's doing something, or for instance, I'm considering moving states, right? I called James for some advice on that as a friend, and he damn near walked me through some shit, right? So let's say he has a business or like Fraternity Rose starts suddenly selling millions of fucking copies, right? If he needs help with doing something or an assistant, then I wouldn't mind helping him in that way. However, comma, he's an author, so he's known. So me working for him can also be a stepping stone for me and whatever I could choose to do or have, whether it be a business or whatever the fuck. So I personally feel like Monica and Jen probably were friends. And Jen Shaw, if you watched her actual story from season one, she is known to hire friends and family and give them roles within her shady, fraudulent ass company. But she's known to hire people. So I do believe they started as friends. I do believe Monica used and utilized and wanted to utilize the opportunity. And I do believe Jen Shaw got comfortable with her and start, Jen Shawing, toward Monica. And that's probably why Monica wanted revenge. But Heather's receipt, I don't see anything wrong with that. There's a lot of people who quote that and say that online because Kim Kardashian is the blueprint for becoming a billionaire and having fame and popularity for literally nothing, not having talent, not books, nothing. So who wouldn't want to make hella money that way? I don't see the problem. Heather is so disconnected from people talk about Lisa being disconnected, but I think Heather is just as disconnected. She just knows not to show it in certain ways. And I think being excommunicated also probably, helped her with that. But I think she's just as disconnected. She grew up with a good family. She went on to marry the Mormon man who was worth lots of money. She got her kids. Now she has this show. Her business is successful. Heather, I just want her to go away, honestly, James.
Okay, yeah, and I agree. And I'm going to answer the question myself. I didn't think that receipt landed anywhere. I felt like that didn't prove one way or the other that Monica was trying to get on the show. I think that she made a comment that, yeah, this is how Kim Kardashian started, and we all know that is true. If you guys don't know who Kim Kardashian was an assistant for, it was actually Brandy. So if we're not going, and also Paris Hilton, I forgot about that too. But it wasn't an ulterior motive if I know my friend is on a TV show and I'm trying to get the come up. But if that was the case, Monica would have been on season one because Jen showed all of her assistants that season. We saw Stewart, we saw the other young lady, assistant number two, and we heard assistant number three on the phone. So
But that
what
could
would have
also,
made
she said around that time, also in the reunion, she said that it was like right after season one had wrapped. So maybe that was when she was the friend, and maybe that's why she was like, I don't know what the fuck's going on.
it
All I
just
know is
doesn't prove to
everybody on
me
the
that
stage lies. So
right, and it didn't prove to me one way or the other that she was really using Jen to get on the show. That didn't prove anything to me. If anything, she's just stating what a lot of people think. If you show your ass on TV, yeah, you might, last a couple of years and then you become Kim Kardashian.
I
And
don't
I
like how
think
this cast attacked like people. What is the big deal for people wanting to come on TV to make money, especially those who don't have it? I don't get the beef, and that's the only reason I feel the receipts aren't like it's not really a receipt because it's like who cares
yeah,
if you tried to get on the show?
right.
Who
So they
cares?
asked her how did she get on the show, and she said that I thought the rating sucked, and I wrote to the casting just like all the rest of the ladies, and all of them like, no, I was referred. I was referred. I said, Angie, no, the fuck you weren't. I don't bit more believe that shit. Show me the receipt then that somebody referred your boring gas to this show.
If Angie was a staple in Salt Lake City with her business that she's had for
She
as
would have
long
been
as
on
she's
season
been
one.
alive, then we would have seen her season one. Or
Right.
at least as a friend of. We never saw her.
We didn't see Angie until season three, literally. And it was because also of Jen Shaw that we knew who
Sudden
Angie K was.
departure.
Yes,
Yeah. Mhm.
absolutely. That we knew who she was. And the same thing with Dana. So we're not gonna sit here and act like Angie K is this real big. That's why I was so when she said I'm a reputable person in Salt Lake City, and when Monica laughed, I laughed with Monica because that sounded like bullshit if I ain't never heard bullshit in my life. Come on now, we're not gonna play like this. But anyways, they then expand more to Monica saying that she's on the show because they're all confused on how she got on the show. Apparently, nobody else knows it. But what Monica said on the email was not really what she like said on the stage. So everyone's like, "Oh, well, you're lying here on social media. They clowning her ass right now."
They
But she
are.
basically said that you need a spicy Latina on this show, not thinking this will actually get her on the show. And I don't think that's what got her on the show at all. I think they wanted her to expand more on what she was for Jen, and it just didn't get there. Well, it did, but it was at the expense of the other women. So Andy was confused when she said the ratings suck. He goes, "Did the ratings suck?" And we're looking at Andy like,
Kempire roasted Andy. Shout out to the Kempire.
"Shout out to Kempire. We love you, Kempire, on Watch Your Life Reviews and Mrs. Best's channel. We love you.
Hilarious. Hilarious.
We know that the ratings were terrible season three. We're not going to play like this.
They
Andy, I
also
was
had
so
their money, like how the cast are paid. There was something that happened, contracts were leaked. This was during the time I was not watching, but they're the lowest paid housewives in the franchise, and it's usually based on ratings. So
they have a quality cause. I actually saw a breakdown of how it works. Someone explained it to me. So basically, season 1 through 5, you're not paid like any stature. When you are paid after season 5, if your show gets to season 6, you have now made it to like basically a syndication
mhm.
where the show can continue on and on and on for at least a few more seasons. And after that, you're paid based upon the number of seasons you started. So if you start a show season 1 making $10,000 per episode, when you get to season 5, you making $100,000 because you started season 1. Now, if I come in season 3 only making 5,000, that's based on the season that I started. That's how much I'm making per the year. So that's how they broke down the quality clause. So yeah, Andy full of shit. I'm just gonna say that right now. Andy is full of shit because I feel like, and this is what Mary was talking about. Mary's like, y'all brought me back because you knew as soon as I came, soon as it was announced that I was coming back on the show, you knew that I was gonna bring in a whole lot more viewers. Because I'm gonna keep it real with y'all, like Mrs. Best keep it real with y'all. Mary was the only reason why I was watching this show. Mary was the only reason why I liked this show. Jim was collateral damage in replacement of Mary. And when she couldn't land season 3 because she didn't want to talk about it and she didn't want to be rambunctious because of how this case was going to play out, I stopped watching. I stopped watching. The only person I really liked on season 3 that really stood out to me was Dana. That was the only person that really stood out to me. And it's because she was going back and forth with Jen Shaw because she wasn't going to play like that with her. You can't intimidate me like you can intimidate the rest of these girls and they scared of you. So
Yeah.
that's why I liked Dana.
That's the
But
other thing with this cast. Like these women act. I don't like when people choose to argue with the people they feel they can get it away with or who they're comfortable with. Like if y'all bitches is going to be scary with how like the way they all handled Jen was just shameful and scary in my opinion. Uh if y'all gonna be like that, you don't need to be on reality TV. We
mhm.
I mean that's what killed Roni, the original Housewives of New York. That's exactly what the fuck killed that shit. They kept hiring these pretentious ass people that didn't want to deal with who they had to deal with and were scary when it came to certain people and eventually that shit will end.
Right,
So
exactly. Niagara had a question in the chat. Why did Dana leave? So Dana didn't explain this on the live she had with Monica. She just said she's not coming back to the show.
oh, she's not
So
coming
she's not.
back.
No, she said she's not going to come back to
Oh,
the show. So, and I'm mad because I was like, Dana, please come back. Don't worry about it. We will rally
what
for you.
happened to make her so like
I don't know.
hell
I
bent,
need.
bro?
Yeah, Dana, I need you to come on live and explain, or unless if anybody, if Dana did go live and explain why she's not going to come back to the show, please put it in my chat or please send it to me because I need to know why Dana won't come back. Because I felt like that makes even more sense now of how Angie K got her snowflake.
Yeah.
Because it makes me wonder.
Oh, what if she said fuck it? Because I mean,
Yeah,
I'm just saying, Angie K is the one with alleged financials that's fucked up. She needs to check apparently, allegedly. But you know, Dana, I haven't seen nothing on her finances. So maybe she's like, fuck this. I don't need them. I don't need this. I am woman.
I heard
Some
she doesn't need the money. I've heard she doesn't need the money. So
those are
I don't know.
usually the people who leave and give
And can give two
no
fucks about
F's
this,
about
like
coming back.
Mary did. Mary didn't, y'all, and that's the thing about how I hate when people go in on Mary about her using the church's money. Her congregation cannot take care of her lifestyle. There's no way possible. There is no. Do
Her
y'all think
church
that's
is
why?
too small. She would need to
It's not
have
even
like
that.
a
Joel
couple.
Osteen allegedly does not make money from his church like that.
No, that's why he allegedly is
Allegedly, I have
probably
to say
fucked
allegedly.
with
Yes,
his. That's why I don't go to
yes.
church. I'm trying to tell you.
Yes, see, and like I said, and it's legal. All the stuff they do is legal. So that's why I'm like, y'all are really trying to milk this shit. But back to Monica. It then comes up about Lisa's ring. Because there was, and I remember this when it was on the blogs, it was brought up that Monica stole the ring. And Andy asked Monica, who do you think started that rumor? And she said Lisa and Heather. And I 100% believe that. And the reason
Mhm.
why I believe this is because Heather's big ass mouth said, well, it's what we all thought. And Monica said, "Thank you for admitting it," because that was my first thought. It's easy because she's the minority. When she said that, Angie K over there in the corner gonna start laughing and rolling her eyes. And when Monica called her out about it, and she goes, "You're just being a victim and everything." And I'm like, "Angie K, shut your ass up."
Your whole season was spent trying to be a victim.
Yeah,
Like
it's
quite
we
literally.
yes,
I'm sick
we're
of
not
Angie.
gonna.
She is horrible for TV. Every time she argues, she says the exact same thing. Oh, that's really classy, Monica. It's real classy. You know what? I'm actually a good person. And what a good person does is they don't behave like this. You came from my family. That's all she says. Anytime, it don't even have to, they don't even have to bring up the rumor with her husband. And she gonna bring it up. I want this
And this
woman
is what.
gone.
And Monica, you did give her a good review. You call her a benchwarming bitch. But what I'm gonna say is, Monica, you could have did better than that.
Yeah.
You could have been. I would have
Really
read, but I
think
tell y'all, right, exactly. I would have. But as soon as she said, "You trying to come for me and my family," and I said, "I'd have been, I ain't the only one who did it." Now, since you want to go there, so yeah, that's why I couldn't be on the show, y'all, because I would have made all of them cry. They would have ran off that stage crying. So
Monica just
Lisa,
needs to become a chameleon and learn how to, like, the energy she
read
has,
better.
the quickness with her reads. You can't holler, "You're a bitch warming bitch" to someone like Angie. Like, it's not going to land. You need to find a classful way to tell this woman, that she ain't shit.
Okay, because I just have to look at her so thirsty. Look at her. You can give her some water. She's thirsty. Because
Right.
she was trying to get a moment every which way she could. So Lisa breaks into this monologue about
You
what the
called
ring
it
meant.
a monologue. You ain't
She
shit.
said the ring. She said the ring. Me and John didn't know if we were gonna have any more kids. So when he bought me the $60,000 ring, it wasn't about the price. It was about the simple fact that it was so sentimental that he gave it to me. I love that ring. And Monica was like, "That's beautiful. That's what I would have liked to know. I don't owe you that, Monica. I don't owe you that. I I don't owe you shit." And then it was like Monica was like, "It's not about you not owing that to me." It came across, and this is what Monica meant to say, but she just couldn't get it out because they were trying to shut her up. It came across when you kept saying $60,000 ring, $60,000 ring, $60,000 ring. Because remember, Lisa said she only said it 3 times, as if saying it once wasn't enough. So
She just
she, yeah,
entirely misses that.
she just be missing. She missed the moment every time, and it was like, Lisa, oh my god. And it came across that you were being materialistic
Mhm.
versus the ring being sentimental. It landed in the wrong direction. That's all we're saying, Lisa. And when Monica says that it's easy to blame me because one, I'm the minority. I don't have as much as you all, the rest of you ladies, which Monica, trust me, they don't have much more than you do. Don't let once again, stop letting these women punk you into thinking that you have less than them because you don't. I don't care about them mentioning your business and how you had to shut your shit down. And then when you reopen it up and got shown on the show, things are behind because you can't keep up. We all had to start from somewhere. You didn't know that was going to happen. We ain't mad at you, but thank you for doing the right thing, refunding money back because you realize that you need to now get an investor so you can get a warehouse going and hire people. We got you, Monica. So I was like, forget all these ladies. Heather shit wasn't built in one damn day anyway. So who the fuck cares? Anyways, moving on from there, Andy then brings up the whole conversation about how the dynamic duo friendships that were had on the show had some challenging rifts. He brings up Lisa and Meredith. He brings up Whitney and Heather. He brings up Whitney and Lisa. He brings up Angie and Meredith. He brought up a whole bunch of different people. So I'm not gonna focus on all that because all of it's pretentious as hell. I am going to bring up, however, Meredith and the whole Meredith and Angie K situation. And I don't know if it was a viewer who asked this question or if it was Andy who asked this question. I don't remember who asked this question, but pretty much they asked Angie K what made her just go on to the attack of Meredith.
Mm.
And she said, it wasn't that I attacked. Monica told me about this rumor and that it was leading to Meredith. Now, keep in mind, y'all, Monica never said that Meredith started this rumor.
Not
Whitney, and I'm glad they called Whitney out for this shit too. Whitney asked Monica, "Did you hear about the rumors?" And Monica was thinking in her mind, she must be talking about the gay rumor. So, in terms, Monica did the right thing and said, "I don't blame Whitney for what comes out of my mouth." That was
Mm.
it. And when Angie K said that Monica was not being a good friend and was backstabbing her with this whole rumor talking about her husband, I said, "Angie K, let me explain something to you, baby. It wouldn't have mattered if Monica brought it up. It was going to be brought up anyway, based on your husband's behavior throughout the entire time y'all were on this show. There was more than one scene where your husband has disregarded you and made you feel like you were just there, that you was occupying his air. Also, I would like to add, when they flash back the scene where she tells him about the rumor, he didn't deny it. If anybody paid attention, he did not deny it. He was bad that the image was him cheating.
Yep. Yep.
So,
That's very important. I'm glad you said that.
so I once again have to look at this like, okay, if y'all are so concerned about how this is going to look, why make it only look a certain way on a part of adultery versus the entire rumor?
Mm.
I'm just saying, like, and I know I could be reaching, grasping at straws here. I know I could be. But to me, if I had a rumor about me, I'm not going to only be mad at a part of it if it all is true. I'm just saying that's me. Maybe I could
Mm.
be wrong. Well, how do you feel, Mrs. Best? Do you think that that's how do you feel?
I feel like Angie's husband is. Listen, I ain't trying to have the LGBTQ community come after me because I ain't gonna lie, they be tripping sometimes on people they don't need to trip on. But I'm gonna say this: I think that man is. I think him and Angie have an arrangement within their marriage of some sort. And then I also, because the way she behaves and dresses for a mom who's older, it just seems like she's trying to attract attention. And why do you need to do that if you have a husband? That's just how I feel. And then separate from that, I just feel like her husband's probably always been bisexual. I feel like she probably knows it, but they probably don't speak about it or something. I don't think he's cheating, but I do think that there's something about his sexuality that Angie is aware of and that he is aware of that they do not want us to know. And there might be something that he's done pertaining to that hidden sexuality in the past, off camera, while they were not in the public, that could be that. So I'd been thought that. I don't trust her husband. I don't trust her. They can both go so he can, live in his truths or
My
whatever.
whole thing is this, and I'm mad nobody did this. Heather says she heard the rumor too. Why did nobody call Heather out?
This cast is obviously, and this is
And
why I don't like these women. They are staged. Meredith came. Why am I off camera? Anywho, Meredith came and she says at the very beginning of the reunion, "These are my notes in my purse." Why do you need to take notes? Just show up and do what you do. People have taken the receipt book or burn book type of energy that happens at reunions when like bombs are dropped, supposedly. This cast is really bad at doing that. And now they're bringing purses filled with notes. Why do you need notes? This lady quoted us word for word something she says later down the line. Like, why do
yeah, I'm gonna
we
get to that in a minute. Actually, I was gonna
notes?
talk about that next. But I was mad that nobody called Heather out because Heather said she heard those rumors too.
They
She said
work
it in that
together.
episode.
You could
That's what
tell
I
that
said. They're
they
all in
just,
an alliance to take Monica out, and it's
yeah.
sad because it's not fair.
I don't think Whitney wants to either, but we'll talk about that too.
Yeah, we'll talk about that in a minute. Yeah, we'll talk about that. So moving on, Meredith then takes the floor and says, "Well, that's very easy for y'all to say when." No, it was Monica. Monica said, "Well, why didn't nobody say anything when Angie said that she heard that Meredith spreads her legs, out there with in her marriage and everything?" And I said, "Oh yeah, I forgot about that. Yeah, Angie, what about that? Huh? What about that, Angie?"
Angie's full of
So
shit.
Angie said, "Well, here's the thing. I heard a rumor about Meredith that, when her and her husband were separated, she was seeing other men. I heard that around town." Angie, Angie. Let's get something straight. Hold on. Angie, can you hear me? Okay. You just got upset because you said someone spread rumors that were untrue about your husband.
And now she can't seem to grasp it.
And you just said that you don't do that, yet and still, you went and spread a rumor that you had heard about Meredith up on the stage sitting with all of us. So, one plus one is always supposed to equal two. I'm trying to figure out in my mind how that's not the same thing. I'm trying to figure it out, y'all. When I tell y'all there were so many holes in this reunion that you could clearly say they came in there with a motive: take Monica down, deny, turn the stories, act like nothing was said that was said, act like this rumor here, this rumor there was wrong, and it really was a ploy to make sure Monica does not come back next season.
Yeah, yeah.
Because I know I wasn't just sitting there thinking to myself, same thing. But once again, Meredith never said, and even though they tried to get her when they brought up the scene with her talking about, I know stuff about her husband. They were trying to insinuate that Meredith was starting to gay rumors based upon that. Meredith threw on her lawyer face because lawyers are literal. All of them, they're literal. They're not figuratively speaking. They're literally saying. She goes, no, I have information on her husband. Has nothing to do with their marriage. But
Mm,
and he's like, well, isn't that kind of insinuating? She goes, no, that's not insinuating. What I'm saying is I have information on her husband that has nothing to do with her and their
mm,
marriage. That is what I said. And so Lisa with the, oh, well, that's just semantics. And I said, yes, it is. However, she's taking the literal approach. So it could be semantics. Absolutely. I agree with Lisa on that one. That was semantics. But at the end of the day, she technically didn't say anything about his sexuality, their marriage, or vindicated the rumors.
mm,
So y'all tried to get her and y'all couldn't catch her. And that's why I said when you study law, you're able to swindle things in the same way that makes people feel like you mean something. That's why I'd say this generation or this time frame that we're living in, y'all, we're taking straw man arguments to an extreme. And
mhm.
I don't know why we started doing that as a society. I don't know how that happened, but for me,
Psychology says it's the new generation change. And this is the
it is.
first new generation change where we are fully integrated into technology, which makes judgments more, So it may,
Right. But see,
I
the
mean,
problem
it,
well, see, the
it-
problem when we have straw man arguments is that we miss the valid point.
yep.
And so, and I want people to understand that what they were trying to do, especially Andy in this moment, they were trying to omit that Meredith started these rumors
Mm,
and that it all came from Meredith by way of Monica. And yeah, that's what I'm saying. And that's another thing. She is slick. I see it. I know exactly what you have to understand. Me and Mrs. Best both studied highly in psychology, biology to study the diaphragm of people's minds. I know exactly what Meredith is doing. But the problem is, once again, we live in a society where strawman arguments exist. So whenever you say something, it has an underlying meaning. That's what we have come to in this society. And they were doing this the entire time they were sitting on the stage for this entire hour.
mm,
So I just feel like for me, looking at this from the outside looking in, I just didn't like this segment because it felt like y'all were trying to bait her and then switch it upon her. And it's like, y'all, come on. Y'all cannot think y'all audience is this stupid where we're not going to see this. Come on.
mm.
So,
I feel like this cast it just goes back to the same shit I keep saying. Like they every time they try to do shit, it doesn't land. And some point you have to stop trying to have receipts and do things and make big moves and just fucking be on the show so we can get some type of reality TV. It's annoying. So yeah.
yeah, Exactly. So moving on from there, they didn't talk about Whitney and Justin. I didn't really care. She clears up about him, not wearing his wedding ring and all this. Whitney was mine. I don't believe Whitney allegedly. I'm gonna say allegedly, but I don't believe Whitney. I don't believe that they. She says they were in a much better place. I don't believe y'all were in a bad place. I think that you liked him being at home because you knew where his every move was. I keep telling y'all, she
Mm.
is so into that man. It's like she can't help herself. So yeah, I don't. Whitney, that was such a boring thing to bring up, Andy. Don't do that no more. So the last thing I'm going to tie into this, and then I'm going to go ahead and let it go after this, was them coming at Monica about her buying the purse and everything of that. And I told Monica, this is why, and I'm going to say this again because I don't feel like Monica heard me. Monica, you do not need to show up these women and buy the purse. Your little answer was cute. It really was. Monica said it wasn't about me buying the bag. It was strictly about me, not wanting to feel like I'm not good enough to be with these women. And that's where you go wrong at every time.
Mm.
Because at the end of the day, I wouldn't have cared. I know you did this for us viewers and you thought we were going to judge you, but no, we actually were going to love you. I told you, get that Range Rover back to your mama. Go get you a Honda Odyssey. Go get you some purses from Ross. Rock your shit and not give a fuck what any of these women think about you at the end of the day. That's
Yeah.
all I'm saying. Because I'm getting tired of them. I don't know why they brought that up because that was such a it was such a low point. And
I think
when
they brought it up because though it was a low point, it was the thing before all this stuff went down that helped Monica resonate with the audience. It made her likable because this cast is in desperate need of hell. Even Mary's got more money than everybody on here, so there has to be somebody who's like got money but not like rich, so that people can relate. I feel like that's why they brought it up because when that happened, it was all over the internet and stuff. But it's kind of awkward to bring up now that we know like all that we know.
hmm
It looks like Bravo didn't know what
exactly.
to do with this reunion because they've
They
never had
didn't.
anything like this happen before.
Right. And then also I'm gonna bring up the thing with the brother-in-law. I didn't like how they brought that up too. I felt like if y'all were going to bring that up, then it needed to be in a way where y'all weren't trying to label her.
Mhm.
Because this that made her have to say, yeah, I had to play, I had to wear the scarlet letter. I had to, be the whore and everything. And I felt bad for her in that moment because yes, it was terrible thing to do, but at the same time, she owned it. It is what it is. Why do y'all care that much about something that she doesn't even have to live with no more? She ain't married to that man no more. So why do y'all have to bring that up? That
Yeah,
was silly. I didn't
yeah,
like that either. Um, I didn't like the looks Heather was giving her.
yeah.
And then lastly, and I'm gonna wrap this up because I gotta get to Mrs. Best Chance so we can do our lives. I didn't like how Angie K made the comment instead of you using your money to buy bags for you taking away from your children. And I said, whoa.
She needs to relax because your children, you don't even got shit to leave them, allegedly, according to Meredith and Monica. Apparently, there's been receipts that they've seen showing that Angie's finances are messed up. So, what the hell does that say about you? I don't like when people bring up kids. I don't like
I
that.
don't like when you feel like
Especially
you're
when you've
comfortable
got one and
enough.
she has fucking how many daughters? 4 or 5, however the fuck many.
I just don't like when people live in literal glass houses and think they can throw stones at
Yeah.
somebody and, you know, let it come out, oh, that you owe the IRS and stuff, and you're talking about you a millionaire and all this and that. But at the same time, Angie, if you was really a human, the fact that you're a mother and you're telling this other mother that she's taking away from her kids and buying bags and stuff, you don't know what that lady go through from day to day. For you to sit
No.
there and you know talk about that like as if her kids are out there starving or something. That made me mad when she did that. Y'all, I'm sorry. I would have cussed Angie. Angie, I probably would have pulled a Teresa Judice.
Mm.
And if y'all don't know what I'm talking about, Go back to, was it season 2 reunion of Teresa Giudice when she pushed Andy in that chair?
Yeah.
Yeah, it was season 2 when she's finna fight that girl and threw that pillow at her. Yes, that's yeah. Because there's
Mm,
no way I could have sat there and you talking about I'm taking away from my children buying bags and stuff. Like, who the fuck are you at the end of the day to judge me?
mm.
But that was it, y'all. That was the reason they left it off on that cliffhanger. I can't wait till Mary get up out there because Mary said it's unacceptable.
I thought they did good though with how they sectioned part one. Like usually it's like pointless until like the last few minutes, but I thought they did good with that. I hope they keep that energy with all reunions going forward because reunions on Bravo have been a mess.
I feel like they were just, it was really just pointed at Monica, and I feel like it's not gonna stop until like she fully admits this reality Von Tease, what she said was 6 people. Y'all already know my opinion about this, but for those of you who do not know, I honestly feel like it was more the beautician than it was Monica. That's what I'm thinking. This is alleged. I don't know. But I feel like it was more so that beautician than it was because I feel like Heather has a big ass mouth. And Heather spreads everything. So you mean to tell
Heather
me that
also
Heather?
wants people to believe that just because she filed an investigation, that her investigation is the end all be all. It reminds me of Diana Jenkins from Beverly Hills last season. You filing
Hmm.
an investigation doesn't mean shit, especially if you yourself were a little bit shady or fraudulent, also. So it's like,
Yeah, yeah. But that was the review, you guys. It was, they left it. They left in some shit though. It was definitely go.
another
And you got a
color
color
coded
coded.
bill.
Yeah, girl, bye. Right, exactly. So yes. But that was it, you guys. That was Real Housewives of Salt Lake City season 4 reunion part 1. I will be back next week to do part 2. Mary Cosby is going to join us on the screen, and I hope she goes all the way in to keep that foot on these girls' necks as she's supposed to. So we're gonna go over to Mrs. Best's channel now. We're going to go ahead and recap Love and Hip Hop Atlanta, Basketball Wives Orlando, and Basketball Wives LA. Not in that particular order, but we're going to go ahead and do that. So make it our way over there now. We'll see you guys in the next review. Bye bye.
Bye bye.